Hi there. For today's Tuesday tip, I am going to talk groups. So I've had quite a few counselors message me and ask me questions about groups and ask me if I would talk a little bit about running psychoeducational groups in schools in my Tuesday tips. So I'm going to do a series of, I don't know, maybe 3 to 6 Tuesday tips where I will be talking about all aspects of the group process, setting it up, choosing group members, running the groups, what to do in them, and then, of course, how to end groups and compile your data. So keep in mind that we're talking about psychoeducational groups, which are the groups that are appropriate for school counselors to run in schools. We are not talking about therapy groups. And I've done a lot of research. I've had a lot of experience running groups. So I have lots of tips to share. Everything that I talk about will also be in my group books, which Get Your Group On Volume 1 and Volume 2. You can find them on my website if that's something that you need. Okay, so let's talk about group criteria, how to get group members into your group. So what I like to do is start with some sort of a referral process where parents, students, and staff members can request that certain students go into group. And from that, I might get a group list of 200 or 300 students. When I was at a school of 1,000 kids, that wasn't uncommon. And so from that, I'm going to use certain set group criteria to figure out which kids are going to go into the group. And so my last set of group criteria was 3 different indicators. One was if they were failing a class, if they had visited in-school suspension for that term, or if they had had a crisis. The 3 hurts: hurt yourself, hurt somebody else, somebody wants to hurt you, and physical hurts. And so basically what I would do is I would take all those referrals from staff, students, and parents and guardians, and I would put them in a spreadsheet and then add 3 columns with each of those group criteria. And at that point, I would be ready to make checks of if the student met one or any of the group criteria. Of course, it was a case-by-case basis. There were some children that got into group that didn't meet any of the criteria because of some extenuating circumstance. Maybe they had a diagnosis, or something had happened with a parent or in the family, something like that. But generally, I followed the group criteria. And then once they were in the group, which we'll talk about in another Tuesday tip, once they were in the group, I would revisit that criteria to help them make gains related to whatever the criteria was that got them into the group. So, like I said, there's a lot more information about this on my website. I have several different posts on my website about how to run groups and how to get students into groups. Also, my books, which are on my website, discuss all of this in detail. So I hope you find this helpful. I hope this gives you a place to start with your groups. Please let me know if you have anything specific you want me to talk about in this group series, and I will see you in the comments. Happy counseling.